Okay. I like the way it sort of announces that class starts. It's like a clock. Uh, Excellent. Hey everybody, let's dive in. Let's get started. We've got some awesome stuff coming up tonight. It is second mob programming. We're doing a Bank OCR Kata. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Thanks for coming. I expect people will be coming in here over the next couple of minutes. Uh, so let's see here. On Monday, we dove back into Project 5. We refactored the dictionary application to be more of a phone bill application. I'm curious about how things are going with Project 5. Hope folks have had sort of a chance to dive in and at least start thinking about things. I know the POA isn't due until Sunday, but as you can probably guess, this is not like a 4-day project. You'll want to take some time. So, what are your thoughts? What's on your mind with regards to Project 5, the things that we're doing in the course right now? Yeah. Nice. Yeah, it does take a while. And that was our experience on Monday too. So if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, everything's broken, nothing's compiling, the tests are broken, what's going on? Yeah, that just means that you are in the middle of the refactoring. It's all part of what, you're kind of meant to experience with this one. It's okay. But also, if you find if you totally dug yourself into a hole or you're feeling you're getting diminished returns, go find my code that I wrote on Monday and just feel free to, copy that in wholesale and adjust things as necessary. Yeah, so then, the refactoring, good experience, but, make sure that you don't spend so much time trying to, go from the dictionary to the phone bill that you don't leave time to, complete the project and add the new capabilities that you need to add. Nice.
Kind of curious.
Yeah.
You said that sort of the intention of the Project 5. So I'm wondering, like, because even with all the work we've done, it's still not like too complicated. So like, is this like a common experience in industry where you refactoring something and everything's kind of broken for like for a
Very
long
common.
period of time?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, you're making like fundamental architectural changes to your software. Um, and the way that you reduce the amount of time that is broken is by working in small batches and by having automated tests that tell you, what's broken and what's not. Kind of a bad thing is when you realize that when your code's broken and realize the thing that you broke the code was like 3 days ago, because you're not going to remember as it'd been a long time since you made that change. So then, what we tried to do on Monday is sort of, go in baby steps and keep the test running. And then, as soon as the test turned green, commit it. It's like, oh, good, this is a known, this is a safe point. So that as we make more changes, if the changes aren't good or we're not happy with them, we simply just revert our work in progress and go back to a more stable point. We ended up not doing that on Monday, but if I had gone down a path that I wasn't happy with, I would have done that. What else about Project 5? What you're curious about? Anything that you're sort of wondering about how you might do it or what the expectations of the project are? Yeah.
Curiosity. Like not, I don't need like any details, but like say if you were to build something using like Jetty and Maven and the basically if we finish this project and you wanted to take what you had and like publish it,
Yeah.
put it on the web so people can see it.
Mhm.
How does that work to like get like you could just I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Basics like broad strokes.
Sure. Okay. So then, excellent question though, right? Hey, you're working on, and let's just talk about a Java project, although every language and environment, has something similar. Hey, you want to either open source or you want to make your, either your source code or your binary artifacts available to everybody. That's what I do, right? The source code is up there on GitHub, and all of the artifacts that you need for this course are in Maven Central. So Maven Central is an artifact repository. It's called Maven Central because Maven was the primary consumer of it initially. And the whole idea here is that it's a big old repository of jar files and pom.xmls, other metadata and things like that that people publish. So I'm trying to remember. It's been a couple of years since I did this. Basically, all yeah. So like it's actually pretty easy to do. I was surprised. I'm like, I'm just a little professor here in Portland, Oregon. I'm even Central. Wow, that seems really fancy. That's like where Apache is, right? And like, no, it's actually not a big deal. So like, one of the so in order to publish artifacts, they have to, maybe Center wants to make sure like you're legitimate, that you're not like, some bad actor or something like that. And so then, for me, I was able to basically use my GitHub identity as, hey, here's who I am. And either, I don't know if they had someone manually review at the time, or they've got like, an algorithm, they'll go off and look, say, you know what, this seems pretty legit. So I don't know if they go and look at your repositories. I don't know if they go and look at your activity. It's possible that GitHub might also provide some sort of, not identity service, but sort of like authentication service. Like, oh yeah, right, this person, appears to be, I've probably given GitHub my credit card at some point. So, oh yeah, right, this is a real person, right? So yeah, I went in through GitHub, and there's instructions here. So if you just go and ask, probably check, ask your favorite generative AI, hey, I want to publish something to Maven Central. How do I do that? You can. And so then, yeah, like what I do is, uh, what I publish directly from my laptop, which probably isn't the best way. It would be best to have like a continuous integration build that, a whole pipeline and things like that. I just haven't gotten there yet. But yeah, and so like, you can build your artifacts and then publish it. And as you can imagine, there's, keys and things like that to make sure that everybody, everybody has the right access and stuff like that. But yeah, it's, and then, your jar file is up there for anybody to use. And so they just put a dependency in their Palm Duck smell, just like you did in all of your projects, and that's what then will get the artifact's been published up there. Yeah, it's actually I was surprised at how straightforward it was, and I don't know, I got to do stuff like every couple of years I got to rotate some authentication key. I've got to, I guess, yeah, and re-sign the jars. There's digital signing involved and stuff like that, but it all works and it seems to be available. Yeah, so if there's something you want to put up there, I encourage you to do it. Great question. Anything else I can tell you before we dive in?
I
Yeah.
guess it's not relevant to the mob program activity we're doing now, but you said you would talk about the final, like.
Yeah. Okay, we wait till next week for that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah. It- yeah. I wouldn't recommend starting to study for the final now. It's a little too early. So yeah. But we'll go into detail, yeah, next week. Cool. Anything else on your minds? Okay. Before we start our mob programming tonight, let's make sure everybody's checkouts are okay. So, I went through and I patched up the main branch of the repository. So what I did was I went back in the Git history. I found like the last good commit, and I reset the head of the main branch. I forced a reset of the head of the main branch to that. And then what I did was I merged, well, and then I merged in the branch that you all were working on Monday, sorry, last Wednesday. I merged that in, and then I added the cause for tonight. And like my checkout and GitHub is all nice and happy. But before we all dive in, let's just spend a couple of minutes and getting everybody back to a known good state. So here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to, open up your Hymnals page 9, go to IntelliJ, and go to the main branch. So check out the main branch and do either, an update here, a project update, or you can do a git pull from the main branch and everything like that. And then don't do anything else. So like get the latest changes in. And let me know if you see any conflicts when you do that, or if IntelliJ, it tells you that something is wrong. I did this with a student at office hours, and he had some conflicts. Like, oh, interesting. I'm curious if other people are going to have that same experience. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, grand adventures in Git branching.
20 different
Okay. Oh, good. This was a good plan. Okay, so merging origin to branch. Okay. Right, okay, this is good, yeah, so you've got conflicts, and so like what I did was, so try to accept theirs, which is what, because, you know, because I think what people are seeing, and this doesn't surprise me, right? So everybody's local checkout still has, or I think many of you still have the commits that we didn't want anymore. So we basically, you know, gone through and made, you know, a branch in the timeline. And so now we've got like on the because I reset the head, there are I'm talking through this. There are revisions that are in your local repository that aren't up on GitHub anymore. So when you merge those in, Git's like, what the hell is all this stuff? You've made some changes and they weren't there. Oh, this is a conflict. And I think it would be, and I thought it would be okay if people chose to merge theirs, meaning, yeah, take the stuff that's coming down from GitHub. Um, so if you now did you do that now? Do you have a calculator directory?
Uh, yes.
Does it have projects and code in it?
It appears to, yes.
Okay.
It
Do you
does-
have any changes that need to be pushed up to?
Says I'm ahead by 12 commits.
Okay, and so I don't know if we want to push those or not.
Would reset hard just kind of dispose of those?
I don't know. So, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Can you make a new branch off of that main branch with those revisions on them?
Call it a test branch or something.
Yeah. And so yeah, go into a branch and push those up, and I want to see what is on those branch. What's on that branch? Oops, I won't use that well. What are other people seeing? Are other people also getting conflicts? Okay, try the merge theirs, and let's find out what that is. Yeah, and what are you seeing?
There's no help. The-
You see conflict in like 12 files or something? Here, I'll come take a look.
It's merges. And it's something that is.
Okay, well, that looks good. What do you have in the calculator?
Get files, just hit, invite the.
Yeah.
Test branch, okay.
I can just show you what happened, but you can see. Make sure.
Okay, thanks, Aaron. Okay, so now I want to see what is on this test branch. Test branch. Yeah, okay, so interesting. So test branch blows away all of the, yeah. Okay. So so I don't know. This is sort of like where I get scared. Okay. So the safest thing to do, I want everybody to work on the main branch because I want to make sure that the Git history has all your work from, you know, from the calculators. The calculator mobbing thing from last Wednesday. And so for whatever reason, when you know, you merge the checkouts, things go away. I don't know why that didn't work for me. Oh, probably because it didn't work for me because I reset the. Oh, that's what I probably should have had you do. I probably should have had you all reset the head in your local checkouts and then go from there. Okay, live and learn. Anyway, how about so I mean no one's made any changes tonight. So let's all get fresh clones of the cause repository. So and start over again. So no, don't push anything, please, to the main branch until you've gone through, deleted your current checkout and created a new one. And would you like me to show you how to do that? Because I know it's been a little while. Yeah. Well, yeah, you could try resetting the head, I guess, maybe. Although, yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Stuff to like be on a specific commit that's working because like I tried to merge and like the phones now having errors. So
Right. Yeah. 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 Right. It's like after the merge, things get messed up. So I honestly, I think the safest thing is just nuke and pave. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with it, right? Because it's all in GitHub. So yeah, so and actually, yeah, I'll do it too. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is close my IntelliJ. Okay, so then I don't have IntelliJ, and now I'm going to go to uh the directory that I check things out, and I'm going to just delete the Kata's Winter 26. Okay, so like delete your checkout, delete your clone, get rid of that. And now I'm going to do a new git clone. I recommend that you start over because you don't want to be the next person that like deletes everybody else's code. I don't want to fix this again. Although at least we know how now. And then we're going to go back to the main branch and we're going to get the URL and we're going to do a git clone again. So just like we did a little while ago.
Oh. There you, are you working? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you use Spanish for everything. On my own computer. Oh, you're using it. Oh, no, no, right now, this is my. I see, yeah, sorry, sounds good.
Okay, so again, close your IntelliJ. Go find where your checkout was. Maybe you need to find out where the checkout was before you close IntelliJ. Apologize. IntelliJ will tell you where it lives. Um, and then go delete the checkout, delete the clone that you made there on your hard drive, and create a new clone. And if you want to find the Git URL, go to GitHub, find the Joy of Coding PDX/cause winter 2026 and go to the code button and get yourself a Git URL. And I think it's a very important step because otherwise, if you're still using the old checkout with like the bad revisions, they might, the mess might get merged back in. And so then we'll blow the whistle like we did last time, go back and find the branch. So people been able to have some folks been able to successfully make a checkout. I'm seeing some looks and stuff. What was the easy way out?
Remove the project and reconfirm it.
And did that work?
Well, it looks fine.
You have a calculator directory?
Yeah.
Oh, neat. Okay. Nice. Yeah, Alex. Well, and actually all of them. So that's a good point. Yeah, let me oops. Okay. Oops. Yeah, no, sorry.
Yeah, remove the entire.
Do I not have, I guess I don't. Let me open it back up again. So then here in IntelliJ, go and find your PSU git Joy of Coding, Kata's Winter 2026, palm.xml, open that up, open it as a project. Yeah, and make sure your calculator like actually has like code in it.
Yeah,
I
so-
think that's the problem. Yeah.
It does now.
Okay, yeah, but people, okay. So it looks like then, okay. Right. So the sanity check is if your calculator has, code in it, choose, whichever mob you are. Yeah, make sure it has that.
You still understand why it deleted everyone else's block codes when I was only changing.
I don't know either. Yeah, right. You did something. Git tells us what happened. I don't know how you did it, and yeah, hey, maybe blame it on IntelliJ or something. Don't hey, right? But listen, we were able to recover, right? And this is all a good thing. So like gone are the days of like actually, I had uh. This is when it was 25 plus years ago when I just started working and like Like it's the end of the day. It's yeah, after 5 o'clock. I was working late. One of my coworkers were working late, and you just hear the profanity spewing out of his cube, and it's like, "Hey, Chris, what's going on, buddy?" And he's like, "I wrote this script, and it had an environment variable in it, and I had it do an rm-r. It was the environment variable slash whatever, and the environment variable wasn't set, and so he like deleted his root directory, or like he started to delete his root directory, and they like a control C. It's like, oh, you're right, yeah." And so it's like, oh yeah, right. Backup is a good thing. It's insurance. So, and it's the nice thing about, right, GitHub, we were able to recover everything. So, nothing too bad was lost, but yeah. Okay. So, sanity check. Does everybody have a checkout of main that has the bank OCR, which is tonight's kata, and the four, well, it has things like RPN calculator source in the mobs. Cool. Okay. Nice. Yep. So we'll keep an eye on things tonight. And if anybody notices that like code magically disappears, just blow the whistle. We'll stop everything and we'll gather around and tally up. But yeah, we'll see. Good learning experience. Awesome then. Okay. Let's talk about tonight's kata. Bank OCR. Okay. Okay, and this is linked to from the website. So, the whole idea is that in this kata, there is an input. You can read it from a file. You can just write a unit test that creates or whatever that has like some digital clock looking ASCII art that encodes numbers. And so what the kata is meant to do is to take this, here again, this is ASCII, so this is a combination of spaces and underbars and pipes to make digital clock numbers. And then it's meant to read this and interpret it and return the string of numbers, or it could be an integer, I suppose. What does it matter, really? Return the result of parsing this. And the whole idea is these are account numbers and great, 9 digits, zero range of 0 to 9. Okay, a file has around 500 entries. Don't worry about the 500 part. Just see if you can get one, right? Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Cool. And that's where you start. Does the problem? What can I tell you about the problem? Make sense? Sort of understand what you need to do here? Yeah.
Just do the user story for now.
Let's just start with user story one. But yeah, if hey, if you're like, if you're rocking it, then yeah, there's all sorts of stuff that you can do otherwise, and sort of you can have like a checksum and stuff like that, which would be cool. And then hey, if you've got gosh, even it goes down like you've got like no, I guess this is a pretty nice cut. Okay, I was thinking there's also one where like if you get like out of whatever the 9 cells or something like that, if like one's missing or whatever, you can still interpret it. For tonight, because actually, I think we spent a good amount of time sort of making sure everybody's on solid footing here. Just focus on user story one. And I guess do note that, yeah, you can just, copy and paste this into a decoder into a file if you want. And then they've got some nice test cases all down here if you are so inclined to consider those. Any ponderings, any musings that you'd like to discuss? Nice. Okay, then. We got a nice full class. We got a room for probably about 4 mobs. I'm going to pause the pause the recording. Okay. So that was like an hour of mobbing. I want to hear about your experiences. I want to hear what it was like tonight compared to last week, what you thought of the kata, what how you're feeling about your ability to mob now that you've had a couple sessions under your belt. Let's just start with mob one right here. So, like, what were your experiences like tonight?
Um, I'd say at first tackling the problem, I noticed, at least me, it was helpful having being in the group because I feel like I was trying to get ahead in terms of how we implement it,
Mm.
kind of taking bigger steps, and it was nice because everyone in the group was like, maybe we should slow down a bit. and start simpler and just implement by checking to see if we can at least read the file and get the first line and whatnot. But I also think with mobbing, it's just like a thing of practice. Like the more we do it and the more we put ourselves in this, we can get like things will start expediting. Like this is our second mob, so not everyone's, you know, fully gotten there yet, and just building this is a skill, being able to work in groups, I think, and it's really helpful. But yeah.
Yeah, right on. Cool. Others from Mob One, your observations, maybe how it differed from last week, or an idea that you have for next week.
I think we had a lot of ideas flowing around at the start, and it was a little bit difficult to actually like pick which one.
Right. Yeah. Where do you start? Yep.
I think it starts slow from both of them. It just seems like things start slow, but then they just like, it seems like then you start getting momentum. And so
Yeah.
I think we start towards the end, we're like trying to ride that momentum, like, oh, we got these errors, how we got these, and we're trying to fix everything. We're like, oh, we know where we're going now. And so I think it's a frustrating part. Is like, just like when things are starting to get good.
And then it's time's up. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Excellent. Cool. Mob Two, back in the corner. No one puts Mob Two in the corner. I don't know. Y'all back there. So, okay, cool. What were your experiences like tonight? Highly different from last week. What was insightful?
I feel like you know, a lot of cool nothing. Suggestion talking about like how we want to do things. And
Yeah.
what everyone got put in. I don't know. Yeah, one of the bigger stuff with Lux is like, I forget who pointed that out, but it was like, it seems like a C problem, not a Java problem. Because Java is not what you do. Different between strings and characters, they make it really difficult.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good observation. It's basically it's a character array problem, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, it seems obvious. Like C is like, hey, it's the great characters, you know, let's get rid of.
Yep.
It's like, well, Java's like that.
Well, you can do it. It looks it's just as awkward as it is in C, but it's more awkward than you're used to in Java. Nice. Good observations. Other thoughts?
I mean, there's always be coming across from like, all of us had a different way of, like, we all had a different way of we thought. Something.
Yep.
One person like, let's do math, like, let's do lists, and it's like, use variables. You know, it's like, you gotta pick one.
Yeah. Cool. Excellent. Cool. Okay, Mob Three. What'd y'all think? How did it go tonight? It's a big mob over there. Lots of folks. What are some of your observations?
I think the large size is definitely something that makes it harder to, like, I guess to be a driver. Like you have
Oh, yeah.
you have like 7 backseaters, be like, this is how you're supposed to do it. You gotta do it this way, or like, and it's like if you need help with something, got like a bunch of different people be like, oh, here's how you do the solution or whatever.
And I'll tell you seven different things. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I can't. Sometimes you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't hear myself.
Well, so the intent then is the designated navigator is the one that is, dealing with all the inputs while the person at the keyboard, the driver, just has their hands on. So maybe something to keep in mind for next time, especially if you find yourself in a big mob. It's like, it's probably more important than to have the discipline of the driver only listening to one navigator. Nice. Other observations from other people in the group.
Seems like with every while I'm a part of, there's always like technical difficulties, especially with like pushing and pulling.
Yeah.
And especially since we refigured our system a little bit.
Right, having to start over again. Yep. Yeah, and that is kind of all part of the practice that we get. I think, but each time I notice, hey, by the way, congratulations, made it through the night without messing up the GitHub raw story this time. Right? Yeah, don't worry, you have one more chance to screw it up. But yeah, I mean, that's also part of the activity and part of what I want you to be able to experience is like, wow, this kind of intense situation where your repository is changing out from underneath you. Hopefully your code isn't changing, but still, yep, getting used to the fact that, yep, there are upstream changes, or not upstream, there are, there are remote changes that need to get merged in. That's good observation. Other thoughts on tonight and how it went? Ideas for next time? Well, next time you can choose to either be here in the classroom or to be remote. Either way is fine, either way is valid. And I'll be interested in hearing what your experiences are like. But that's a thing for next week. So have a great weekend, everybody. Please make good progress on Project 5. Ask questions on Slack. Stay safe and warm, and we'll see you on Monday. Android stuff next week.